Hello everyone! In today's video, we are going through this repo and we will study the code and go through each section. And this is the repo from Code with Android on his Flutter course, as you can see here. The Flutter Foundation course, which I just bought yesterday. And I made a decision recording my learning process and doing this on YouTube. My main motivation is, first, it motivates me to keep learning and recording my progress. In the past, I always learn on my own, myself, but sometimes it can feel, less motivated, less efficient, less focused. So I think by recording these where I am on the camera looking at myself, I know I'm not going to check my phone or doing something else. It's more efficient for me, but of course, I also want to make my video more useful. So while I'm learning, I'm sharing screen and whoever watching the video, you can also see all the code and how I analyze these. Because of the copyright, I don't think I can. Here's the course, by the way. So when you go, I have access to all his video, but there are two reasons where I cannot share the screen of the video course. So one is, of course, his copyright. If he knows, I don't think he will be happy. So second is, the main reason is it's hard for me to watch the video while I'm coding. It's more efficient if I have two screens. So what I'm going to do is, on other screen where on my iPad, I will play the video course where you can also listen. And on the main screen, we will just doing mostly the reading part and the coding part. So coding is more about practice and doing, and watching video does not help that much, but I will try my best to explain the video as well. So the repo is public, so everyone can access to this URL and follow the instruction where you can clone the video, which I clone the code, which I already did. This is a big course, and let's get started. Okay, so for now, I'm just started in the. I'm going to this lesson starter project overview for the code structure. Actually,
over the remaining lessons in this section, we will explore the starter project more in depth so that you can more easily find your way around the code base.
Okay, I will close this for now and listen to this in the iPad.
Over the remaining lessons in this section, we will
you can also
explore
hear
the starter project more in depth so that you can more easily find your way around the code base. And to make your life easier, I've also documented a lot of the existing code so that you can better understand the purpose of all the classes that you'll find.
So while we are listening,
let me start by giving you a quick tour of the project structure. And as usual, everything starts from the main.dart file, which is where we run the app with the root widget of the entire application. And in addition to this, I've also added some custom error handling code, which is...
So we have, because I already have some experience, so I will stop the video and going through it. So on his video, first he already checked out into the starter project, and I'm still in the main project. I'm not exactly sure what's the difference yet, but as you can see, here is a running app on the Mac OS. I don't think the sign-in is implemented. We can test, why not? Oh yeah, we need to register. Okay. That's great. It's actually implemented the sign-in feature already. So your UID and email field value, you close. It's very simple UI. So I want to see what's the result for on the main branch. I believe this is the final version. So let's see here. Add to the chart. Okay, cool. And go back. Let's order another one. 3 plates. Add to the part. Oh, you see the chart has 2 items. That's okay. Maybe we don't need this much. Let's see checkout. Pay. That's it. So it hasn't implemented with a scrap payment yet. Orders, but how do you cancel the order? So this will be empty already, but the order stays here. And this is the part 1 of the course, and I also bought the part 2 on the Firebase with Flutter, which we will go there after finish this one. So I believe in that section we will learn about how to implement the full payment. And before I listen to the video, let me see just a little bit of the differences on the starter branch versus the main branch. So we have Flutter binding initialized, as you can read. This is from the Flutter widget SDK. Yeah, usually we always have this one, this code. So there is a lot of, all these are new. It's not in the starter branch. On the starter branch, when you check out, it only has this and run app. So we have a starter code base. Then I guess while you are watching the video, we will add more, and the main is the final one. Before I go, let me see. I remember I mentioned about the asset with all the font and the product picture, where currently I believe we are using just from local asset, and in the Firebase course we will be loading the image offline, from online. No, not offline. There will be some performance and app. When you add a lot of apps on your app size is also very big. And for the version, it's updated to the newest one, and we are using Flutter 3.22 and Dart 3.4. Okay. Oh, by the way, in the repo you can see the branches. So each course, I believe he will it's very well organized. which each section has starter and finished. Starter project, this should be the one then I'm supposed to check out. Yeah, okay, so let's do it. Okay, check out. I forgot, it's called starter project. Great. And click enter. So now we are in starter project. If you see the main branch, it's a lot shorter, less code. Yeah, it's good start. Let's get started. Listen.
Useful if you want to show any unhandled errors directly in the UI. And if you've never seen this code before, you can find out more by opening this link. Okay, so next up, let's get back to our project. And here we can command click or control click to look at the root widget of our app, which is located over here. Now, this doesn't really do anything special because it just returns a standard material app which defines some basic theme data properties and uses this products list screen as the home page that you can see over here. And by the way, one important thing that I'd like to point out is that since Flutter 3.16, Material 3 is enabled by default. And when I first recorded the course, I was still using the old Material 2 widget. And if you go to the product page and toggle this flag to false, then you can get an idea of the difference between Material 2 and Material 3. So keep in mind that in the upcoming videos, it will look as if the app is not using Material 3. However, in the latest starter project, I set this flag to true, and as a result, the app will look like this. In any case, the main focus of this course is not on UI and material design, so this doesn't really matter to us. Okay, so at this stage, it's a good idea to take a look at the various folders in the File Explorer so that we can get a better feel for how this project is structured. And as you can see, all the files in the project are located inside this source folder, which contains all these subfolders. And out of them, the most interesting ones are called features and models. And the main idea here is that inside features, we can find one folder for each of the pages that you can see in the app. For example, the product list screen that is loaded when we first start the app is located inside products list in this file called products list screen. And likewise, each one of these folders contains a file that ends with screen.dart, along with any other custom widgets that are used by that screen. And of course, if you open any of these screen files, you can easily find out which other widgets it depends on based on the import at the top of the file. But for now, don't worry about all these files, because I'll give you a better overview about all the existing widgets and pages in the coming lessons. However, the thing that does matter is that I've chosen to structure this project using a feature-first strategy, at least in regards to all the widgets and pages that exist in this app. And one of the advantages of this approach is that all the source files that belong to a certain feature are grouped together inside the same folder. And we'll cover project structure more in detail in a later section where we will talk about app architecture. Instead, right now I want to focus on this models folder, because this is an important folder that contains all the data models that we need to show in the UI. For example, here we can select this product class, which contains important properties such as the image URL, the title, description, price, and any other information that we may want to show on the product page over here. And if you take a look at all the other model classes, you'll find that they are very simple, because all they do is to define a set of properties along with a const constructor that we can use to initialize them. And one thing that I want to point out is that all these properties are final, and this means that once an instance of a model class has been created, then it is immutable, meaning that we cannot change these properties directly. And
so it's showing some examples on the model class. For example, a review, and all the property is final, because all model class are immutable. It's a very important concept. So every time when we create a new object, we are not changing we are creating a new one, not replacing or changing the original one.
Later, working with immutable model classes has a number of advantages. Also, one thing that you won't find in these model classes is the code for parsing these properties from JSON. And this is certainly something that we will need later on. But as I said, for now, this app doesn't really use a networking service or database to retrieve the data. And instead, all the products that you can see over here are hard-coded, and they are all defined inside this file called test products. And what we can find here is this global const variable that defines all the products data that we can see on the main screen. And as you can see, the image URL for each one of these products points to each of the image files that we have included in the project, meaning that all these images are loaded directly from the application bundle. And since we are already here, let's take a look at this folder called constants. And over here we'll find a file called appSizes.dart, which contains this class called sizes that defines all the constant sizes that are in use throughout the UI. And these are all multiples of 4, which is a good idea if we want our UI to be consistent. Also, I have defined some global gap constants, which represent some sized boxes that are often used to space out widgets inside row or column layouts. So if you see these constants in the various widget classes, now you know what they are. Finally, we also have a utils folder, which includes these two files called currencyFormatter and dateFormatter. And these are quite useful whenever we need to display a date or a currency, like in this product card where we show the price of a given product. So once again, there isn't anything surprising in this starter project. And if you know the basics of Flutter and Dart, you should be able to spend a bit of time getting familiar with this codebase without finding anything shocking or hard to understand. With that said, there is a fair amount of UI code that I have included as part of this starter project. And we'll have plenty of time to explore this more in detail as we make progress with the course, including in the next section, which will be all about navigation. Okay, so let's continue on the next lesson where I'll give you a better overview of the UI side of things.
Okay. So before I play the next session, it's a good idea just to read through, just have a brief overview of what he mentioned. Yeah, we need to read more about this, which is very important. There's nothing special, just folder project. I'm not sure why he wrote so much of these. There's another widget called 𝒂𝒑𝒑𝒂𝒂 widget can just do the same, but we will see. Keep going.
In this lesson,